Nowadays, if you look at the media, or not even the media, we hear say from people coming to the temple, we encounter people saying something, and we start to take side. This is a problem of our mind. We start to take side. Take side, team A, team B, you're with me or you are against me, So this is the problem with defilement, our craving, the great hatred delusion, which is the main cause of our human problems, is that we are not fast enough. We can't tackle this problem. We can't find peace within ourselves. And we see people outside there, especially some other super power outside, that don't matter with other people. You look at our own mind. If our own mind, start with our own mind. If our own mind cannot even find the peace within ourselves, then we get involved externality, try to solve the world problem. Bunch of shit outside there. Only creating more hatred, more delusion, more anger. Because why? Because our mind still have the prejudice. We react on prejudice, react on Western interests, not on Dhamma. Not on how to make peace, how to create peace, how to create morality, how to create compassion, kindness. This is not the world heading. The world is heading to what? Competitions, craving. I must be ahead of you. I must win you. I must, be the winner. This is why. This is the problem. But the Buddha's teaching never emphasized on that. The Buddha's teaching emphasized on what? Be the winner. Win over our own hatred, our greed, our defilements inside here. The Buddha never point outside. Never point outside. It was inside first. You look at the Buddha, before the Buddha enlightened, he was also a layman. And why he give out the worldly thing and come to become a homeless one? Because he see the fallback, the setback, the cruelty of the world. People crazy about the name, fame, status, and gain, and praise, and all this. And why humans suffer. That's why he withdraw from the worldly things. And what did he do? He doesn't go and do other things. He practice meditations, calm his mind, go to different teachers, seek for the truth. You see, until he can really attain, really meditate, until really strive, almost dead. And when he attain, he even don't want to teach. But under invitation and some of the related people, he decided to teach. And what does he teach? Sila, Samadhi, Panya. That's all. And of course, for lay people, when come to encounterment with different group of people, different group of culture in India, he delivered different kinds of things to suit the individual villager that face the problem at that time. And we are in this era. We have all these sutta to study for comparison study, so that we hopefully that we can find a strike a balance to imply certain things into our daily practice. So the most important thing is a practice. And the practice is not to solve other people. No, leave them alone. Our problem is just our family matters, in our own family matters. If inside our own family, we can't even solve our problem. Don't be a busybody to mind other people's family. People will just turn the finger back and look at our own family and then bang, we are dropped dead. We can't even solve our own family problem. We're going to go to other people's problem, try to solve the whole world problem. We're looking for trouble. You see, and this is what happened. You look at the whole world, all these greedy politicians, what they're doing now. And we are the scapegoat. We are this, what you call, victims. Well, what to do? We are living in this world. So we must live smart. If we have the choice. Like we say, lucky we are monk, lucky we are monk. Lucky we stay like a monk. Because when we look at the whole thing, oh bullshit. This world, the world of bullshit. And we take it so real, this world. And then you think about it. When we say something like in this way, people say, anti-social. How can a monk think that way? Destructive. It's not destructive. This is the truth. We're not talking about ice cream or icing sugar. No, that's bullshit. We're talking about the truth, hit to the heart. This is the real thing. We say that we want to solve our own problem, our greed, hatred, delusion. This three things. Is it increase or decrease? We just go to it. That's all. Bang! Straightforward. Don't need anything. It's funny. A lot of people, they practice and they get stuck. They get stuck. They get stuck not because they didn't read book. They get stuck not doesn't mean they doesn't know anything. They know. But because of their practice, don't have the consistent don't have persistent effort in the practice. That's why you don't see result. Take for example, ask you to put toe. You can't even maintain 1 hour, 50 minutes, a mile like monkey going to go where? Think of this, think of that, and get involved so many things. Then we talk about Nibbana. Sorry, when got Nibbana? Cannot, they cannot find Nibbana. They cannot find the peace within the heart. So when you cannot find the peace within your own mind, what will you look for? External things. So as to keep yourself occupied. This is how our mind tends to meddle with. And the more we go, the further we drift away from the truth. We drift away, until we don't know. It's just like a tire puncture. We will never know the tire puncture until the fire fully flat. Block, out. Puncture already. Finish, cannot go anymore. Too late. Then you're in the middle of the desert. See how? Be careful. When we talk about practice, we talk about mindfulness, self-checking, all the while. How your mind progressing, how your mind going here. Your mind involved with these things. What will you bring? What are the impact? What are the outcome? The involvement of this involvement. We got to self-check because no one can self-check better than ourselves. And we cannot blame, because of you, because of she or he. Don't blame, please. You are the own owner of your own karma. Because I saw a lot of people, they regretted at their deathbed before they die. Some even cry like a small boy like that. So scared. Some even ask the mother, Mommy, you must do married to me. I will go to hell. There was this monk in Singapore, 40 over years old. He charged people chanting. When people die, he charged. Wow, a few $1,000s per chant. Tell all the lie. Work on the weaknesses of people, of the devotee. That if I chant this chant, I'll bring your mother to this heaven. Wow. Of course, I will want my mother to go to heaven. Who will want the mother to go to hell, right? So one chant is 4,000, 5,000. Higher heaven, higher price. Yes. And in the end, he died of throat cancer. 40 over years old only, this monk. And before he died, he got 2 bungalows. You know, Singapore, the bungalow, very expensive. 6 million, 10 million, the one bungalow. He got 2. And before he died, he also tell the mother that he will go down to hell. So sad, I said, why? Why? Because why? Because wrong, follow the wrong. His karma, follow the wrong teacher, meddling with external thing all the time. Never one time focus inwardly. And the mind always lingering on external thing. Never say one time sit down comfortably, look at the mind, how the mind nurtured, how the mind involved. Never think about, if I go this chance, how much will I get? Profit or loss? Profit or loss? I boleh tahan, sometimes I hear this type of thing. Profit or loss? Get all the free food, someone got profit or loss. And in the end, throat cancer. Because he used the voice to chant the sutta, the Buddha's word, but he earned money. In the end, throat cancer. And then he also know he will go down to hell. He must have the nimitta before he died that he will go down to hell. The yellow robes doesn't guarantee your next birth, the rebirth of a person. But the way you think, the way you do will decide the intentions. We saw monk holding high position, top position in the Sangha. Also peta, so what? You think so what? You high position cannot go peta. Because the mind got so much attachment to the status. Some other monk, no name, Long Pu Bumi. I know one Long Pu Bumi, Sakanakon, what Pa Sawan Dending. Very like an old man, no name, nothing, like no nothing. Look at him, don't even look like a meditator. He don't wear like a old monk, kuti, shabby kuti. Look at him, hey, not presentable, not very, But when he died, after cremation, the villager and all the monks got scared of their life. All become relics. Never judge a book by the cover. Because my friend is a attendant monk, a chambang. Let to play a fool with him. Very no manners to him. My friend told me, I didn't know he's an Arahant. Oh shit. You die. You die. Jackpot. He said, I really don't know. Because his behavior is, how can a Arahant be like a small boy like that? Sometimes play dum-dum, sometimes play, carom, pung, and then like scold people and he spit, and that's not impressive at all. But his bone all become relics. And people start to scare, Achari, Pama, they come and ask for forgiveness. Too late. Before he die, you better ask. When he dies, sorry, he doesn't acknowledge the karma has already been formed. That's why I always like to tell the lay people to ask forgiveness sincerely from your heart, so that it doesn't have the karma residue in you, because it will be an obstruction in our future life. You will never know. A lot of people they have done bad to the Arahant, and you look at the sutta, who are so scary. Born in the like a beggar family, nothing to eat, so poor. So when we read sutta, we do cross checking how we behave, and these are what these are food for thought. These are things that we should consider. We hear already, we got to remind ourselves, don't commit this kind of mistake. Okay, that will be the sharing. A lot of times when we look at the problem of mankind, then we start to realize that it has nothing to do with the particular religion at all. It got to do with the individual behavior, the own mind state, the way how they talk, how they interact. And the most important thing is your mind state, is the individual mind state. That is the most important thing we have to develop. Why we say this? Because a lot of problems in this world, they have different beliefs, different religions, and yet we have wars all over the place, people killing each other, and places that's supposed to have the most sacred object or so-called saint or arahant born in the country, and yet there is still problem, right? It's just that they are more fortunate that we have this type of human being around, that we can benefit from the teaching, from the example, from the kinds of doings of this individual that can inspire us to practice, rather than the country that nothing but all the material things. And there's no practice, there's no virtues, there's no purity or personal behavior at all. And this is something very alarming, especially in our 21st century. It's getting more and more corrupted, and because our mind state is very clever. It like to make story, twist and turn, find easy way out to rationalize that they do think is correct. And in the future, you will find that no people will be talking about meditation, no people will be talking about sila, no more sutta study, no more reference to all these secrets of the Buddha's word. It's very alarming, but what can we do? What we can do is in our individuals, own responsibility, we try to upkeep the traditions. We try to read, we try to memorize, we try to chant, memorize it, recite it in our own heart. This is part of the trainings. This is very important, because why? If we don't have this kind of external thing to come along, then you will say that, it's in the heart, it's in the heart, it's in the mind. We can't see the mind, we can't see the heart. But we can see its external certain thing to incorporate, that this is the words, this is the style of the training, this is the mode of trainings, like the precept, that the Kijja, the call what Patibat, the behavior of the monk, the behavior of the lay people, observing 5 precepts, 8 precepts, how they behave, the behavior of the monk, how they behave, when they chant, how they chant, when they sit and meditate, how they meditate, when they do walking, how they do. All these very coarse actions reflects or symbolize a mode of trainings that are going to inspire people. What are the tudong for? Because you are homeless, we are homeless, we are doing for nothing, not for money, not for name and fame, but for the purification of one's own mind. It's for our own welfare and happiness, and not other people. This is something we must have in mind, and this is something we must upkeep for ourselves. We don't care how people look at us. Don't give a damn at all. Because why? The minute we die, they are not going to come and die with us. We go heaven or go to hell, it's our own mind state. This is something, it's not selfishness, it's a truth. The fundamental truth of what? Birth, aging, illness, and death. This is real something true. This is satya. This is called satya, the truth of reality. You cannot deny. When something strikes us, who can help us? Nobody. You yourself got to decide. You yourself. At that moment of your mind state, what was your mind state? And that is very important. That's why when we talk about instilling mindfulness, to be mindful, to be the kind of awareness, watchfulness over your own mind, take care of your own mind. Don't let these defilements overcome you, all this greed, this hatred, these delusions. Everybody have all these things. Where we need to have mindfulness to take charge, so that these things don't empower us easily. Right? It might be grooming or so brewing inside our heart, but we don't let it surface. We know that it's inside there. We know it. Why we know it? Certain eye contact, ear contact, or certain criticism or speech. You know, when you come in contact, how the reflexes come from the mind. Dissatisfactory, not happy. Why you are saying this? Why you are doing this? Why? This why? So we got to look at this thing. Why? Look at our own mind state. Then we try to make good. This is how we improve. This is how we improve. If not, we will never improve. I remember staying with Ajahn in Thailand. They never praise. They always say, no shit, you're no good. Say, wow, even practice so hard, everything still no good. Why? Because they know the defilement. If they say good, that person will be neglected straight away. Oh, I'm so good already. Okay. You see, you get carried away by praise straight away. So the teacher know that we still have defilement. He press control, no good. Criticize us. Stupid monk, good for nothing. And hey, wow, do so many things good for nothing. What, man? I say, what, man? Want recognitions. I want people to praise you. Finish defilement. This is what Long Pu used to do. Long Pu, even how the monk do, the Long Pu said, no good. Do again. I said, how? Cannot do better than that, Long Pu. Do again. When you do again, they say, here is better. Just to tell, say, enough. But he will never say enough. He say, okay, not so bad. But when you see it really try, we must really try again and again. Don't say, they never even start. We start to say that most of the time, we can't do, it's too hard. We haven't even start. We start to surrender already. No, we must start the thing even no. Try to make yes. Other people can do, why can't we do? Then we can keep trying. This is how we overcome. Because this sankhara of I cannot is a minus point already. It's very detrimental because it become a habit. Something I don't like, I cannot. I remember when I first do chanting, because of our language, because we are Chinese, and our Namo Tatsa, all the Thai monk they love, check มึงคุยไม่รู้เรื่องมึงไม่ต้องสวดหรอกขำกิ้งฮะพอเราขำกิ้ง I get very angry, I get very unsatisfied. Why they look down on me? And that make me to accept the challenge. I'm going to do the Patimokkha. I'm going to do it. I make sure I finish it. Then we memorize the whole book without asking for people to check on us. Worse, after memorizing the whole book, so happy I can memorize the Patimokkha, and then let Ajahn Jeff listen. Ajahn Jeff spur into laughter. All wrong. Why? That's why a trainer is very important. Someone who experienced is very important. Even the pronunciations. And then slowly say, okay, you do this one. Again, we face with all these kind of challenges, but we never give up. In the end, we come up. Okay, we can chant already. Okay, no problem. And not because the challenge is to challenge ourselves. We're not to give in to our own weaknesses. That's why we have the kind of pity, of mercy for our own fellow monks who cannot pronounce. We need to coach them. We need to give them extra coaching here and there. Because we overcome this problem, and when we are a victim of this problem, we gone through this thing, we know how hard. But it's not we can't do. It's the practice make perfect. Practice. Don't know? Practice until we know. Cannot do? Practice until we can do. Cannot sit until you can sit. Cannot break through, sit until you break through. Then you got this kind of confidence in yourself that yes, you can do it. We can do it. It's not beyond human persistent effort. If we are persistent, we on with it, we can do it. When we can do it, then the kind of, it's not pride, the kind of satisfaction in you that, okay. And if you are a person always being glorified, always being praised by people, finish. You will never want to improve yourself because you thought that we are so good already. And this is what happened with any organization. If you are over supported, if you are over supported, everything is so okay, everything good, then you'll be spoiled, like a spoiled child. But if you're in a lean and mean exposure, then you're going to buck up. You know that, okay, if I don't buck up, I'll be the loser. I cannot learn what I want to learn. And if we develop the second type of mentality, keep striving, even though we know we keep striving, maintain the standard, then we can help to maintain, to uplift. When the new people come, pop, straight away they can know something that, this is the proper way of saying things, this is the proper way of training, and so forth. And it's very important. It's very important. Sometimes knowledge is only knowledge, but the real thing is what? Action speak louder than words. Right? Okay, that'll be the sharing. You see, a lot of old people, when they were young or when they were healthy at the time, they feel that, wow, life is so good. LG, life is good. And no problem. But in the later stage of their life, when they are immobile, then they resort to all kinds of nasty moves. They got very angry, even though they got very good family to look after them. They start to behave like hooligan, troublemaker, throw things, even though a lot of people looking after them. And that makes life very difficult for the carer to the patient. And why? Why the patient become like that? Because they never trained themselves when they were young. They always let their mind behave under the influence of greed, hatred, delusion, under the influence of unwholesome thought. They just react, tantrums, those kind of things. And this is what happened. When they grow old, it has become a habit, and thing is not in line with their liking, they will throw their temper. And this is what happened with a lot of aging people. And it is very sad because why? It makes a lot of carers or so-called their immediate relative to disown them. We can see in the newspaper very often old people being led to the park, to the hawker center, the food center, and just leave them. And they don't know, they forget their name, they're senile, they have dementia, they don't know what is happening. And they behave like a small kids. And why does this thing happen? Because they don't practice mindfulness. But if a person, you see, he do prayer, regardless of your religion, you do prayer, he always compose his mind. He or she got this kind of self-control. They meditate, they do chanting, they recollect the recollection of life. They are always focusing back to the body, and they are mentally sound, sharp. They can remember things that happened long time ago when they were very young. They can recall things sharp. Why? Because these are the people who discipline themselves. They keep their mind occupied. They keep their mind in this present moment. They stay with this present awareness all the time. They establish mindfulness in this present moment all the time with the body. So this kind of unwholesome thought cannot overpower them, even though there will be some kind of unwholesome thought or thoughts of foolishness arising in them. They can notice it and they don't react according to the influence of the thought, and thing doesn't happen. The same thing with us, because this mind got no age. It's just the body that's aging. This mind that we can know, that we are listening, sitting now, is the same mind state that the day we are born, we are receiving different kind of knowledge according to our age, according to the time frames, according to the times that passes, experiences, and so forth. But this mind state of knowingness don't have age, don't have sex, don't have time, no place. It's just the agent of knowing. That's why when you sleep, you can acknowledge, you know that you are dreaming. And some of your dream is very sharp. You can remember. Some of your dream, you don't know what the heck you are dreaming. It's all over the place. And the same set of mind, when you're awake, sometimes you're very focused. You know you're very focused when you're doing the chanting. Sometimes even with the books, with your eyes watching the text, your mind is someplace else. Your mouth also can't chant and rubbish all come out. This is what happened with the mind state that is not concentrated, not trained, under the influence of what we call untrained thought. So this is the reaction of what we call the five khandhas. The khandhas are what? Your body, your feelings, your memory or self-perceptions, and your mental formations in your mind. And this consciousness, or what we call awareness. We are aware all the time, but sometimes we are not sharp. Our mindfulness is not in here. We have been lodged into our either future thought or anticipating of the lingering to the past of certain memory that come out, certain sounds strike you, certain sights strike you and brings you back to your past. And you are in the dream, in the fairy tales of the past. Or sometimes you see something, something you have think of the future and you go to the future again. This is how the mind keep like a pendulum, swing to the left or swing to the right. So the instillment of mindfulness is very, very important. You got to be mindful, got to be aware of this present moment of your life in whatever you are, whatever you do, so that when you don't fall into that kind of mind state, what has been described. Old people, why they have dementia? Why they have senile? Why? That's the problem, because they never want to control themselves. They let these khandhas to control them. And we don't have mindfulness, you cannot decide things. It's too powerful. It has been all the while too powerful. It's just like when we never meditate. The first time we meditate, what happened? You find yourself struggling to establish with the object of a meditation, right? Why? The same thing, because we have been all the while habitual thinking, habitual indulging in our thoughts in whatever thing we do. So there's a struggle. If we don't do it, if we don't put up the right struggle now, I use the word struggle, to establish mindfulness in ourselves, to develop a skill that we are acquainted with at our will. I use the word at our will, at will. We pop, put the mind stop. Or itipiso bhagawa, the mind poop, zoom in to whatever object of focus, or your breath. You just take a few breaths, pop, your mind is there already. There's no past and future thought, just this present moment, present awareness anchored right and there in this present moment. No other thought will come and infiltrate to dislodge you from this present moment. You see how powerful. We got to train our own mind. If not, we will develop the kind of symptom that has been described, dementia, senile, this type of thing. If you say that this is sickness, yeah, it's sickness. But let me tell you, it's called, because these people, this individual, they don't do prayer. They never instill mindfulness. You look at some of the old people, especially being mothers. You see how composed she is, so sharp all the time. She vomit. Keep repeating repetition. Keep instilling mindfulness. The more she chants, the more powerful the mindfulness is, the more the awareness will be more clearer of what's happening around her. This is the development of the mind. So why I want to share this thing? Because these are the possibility that a lot of people will be heading towards senile, dementias, forgetfulness, and so forth, because the mind is not trained. The mind is not been established in mindfulness. It always been under the influence of habitual thinking, under the influence of greed, hatred, and delusions. So that'll be the sharing for today, and I hope it can be of good use for us to reflect on. Yatha varivaha pura paripurendi sakarang เอวะเมวะนิโทตินาเพตานังอุปกาปติอิจิตาปฏิตาตุมหังคิปะเมวะสมิจตุสัพเพปุเรนตุสังคปปาจันโทปนาราโสยธามณิโชติราโสยธาติโยวิวัจจันตุสัพพะโรโควินาศตุมาเตภวะวันตารายโยสุขิติกายุโกภวะมิวะธนาสิเลสนิจังพุทธปัจจายโนจัตตารโอธัมมาวัฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังอาลายาสมิปะเดเสกาเปเตวาสะปะริตจติโยศีลาวะเดตโมเจตวาสัญญาเตบรมจาริโนยาดาตาเดวตาสุนตาสาดากินามาเดเสตาปุจิตาปุจายันติมาริตามานายตินังตาโตนังอนุกัมปันติมาตาพุทธาวราสังเอวตานุกัมปิโตโปโสสัตตบารานิปัสสติภวตุสาพมังคลังราคะดุสาบเดวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภวันตุเตภวตุสาพมังคลังราคะดุสาบเดวตาสัพพธัมมานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภวันตุเตภวตุสาพมังคลังราคะดุสาบเดวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภา